Okay, I know this is tacky and like a really bad angle, but I was just so excited because I've been waiting to buy a Retrotink for 3 years. So, well, I guess not exactly 3 years because I don't know if they've... Anyways, so I want to do an unboxing video because I was just so excited about it. Anyways, so... I mean, this is not just a Retrotink, obviously. This is an adapter for Sega Genesis. This will let me use a specific adapter that Retrotink sells, but that's an adapter from AV out on a Sega Genesis Model 1 to AV out on a Sega Genesis Model 2. Because they have different ports. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing the cables because those are less exciting than the big thing. Okay, this is a Retrotink adapter. So it's PlayStation 2. This goes to so this is a HD15. Most people are gonna call this something like VGA, but basically this will connect to a PS2 or a PS3 to do AV out, but it uses a specific connection format to be very convenient to use with a Retrotink specifically. Then of course, basically same thing. This is for Super Nintendo. Again, same out, but this is the standard for Super Nintendo. So that while Nintendo used the same like output shape for Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 and GameCube, Super Nintendo is capable of RGB out, whereas GameCube and N64 can't do that without modding. RGB being having like separate color paths for red, green, and blue. Okay, here we go. This is the Retrotink VGA to VGA plus audio. So it's got these audio cables for the audio, and then video goes through these VGAs. So this connects to those adapters I just showed you, and then one side will connect to the Retrotink itself. And again, why get Retrotink cables? Because they work well with the Retrotink, and they're guaranteed basically to get the best output. This is Genesis 2 to HD15. This I'll be using with that adapter I showed before in order to play Sega Genesis games, because I have a Model 1 Genesis, not a Model 2. But the adapter they sell is for Model 2, because Model 2 was, I don't know, maybe it was more common or something. But okay, this is Sega Saturn. So I'm really excited to play a Sega Saturn game. I have the original Resident Evil for Sega Saturn, and I've been really excited to play that, so this is going to enable me to play that and stream it. Okay, that's all the adapters. Here we go to the big box for the actual Retrotink, which I am so, oh man, I'm so excited. So I did get the Retrotink 4K CE, which is a model revision of the Retrotink 4K Pro, because originally the Retrotink 4K Pro was just called the Retrotink 4K, but they did a model revision. To make it cheaper. So the Retrotinks use a custom SoC, as in SoC is system on a chip. Basically, the founder of Retrotink designed it. And the original Retrotink 4K had a larger SoC than this 4K CE, and because of that, needed a custom heatsink. The Retrotink 4K CE is cheaper because, well, obviously it's got a smaller chip, cheaper chip, but also uses a mass-produced stock heatsink instead of a custom heatsink like the 4K Pro uses. I must say, good packaging on the outs. Open this puppy up. Ooh, very fancy. Box within a box. There's the 4K CE. Retrotink's logo is a sheep. Designed in California, made in China. Copyright Retrotink 2024. Okay, let's get this opened. Oh, if I can get it open without ruining it. I guess I could use something like scissors like a normal person would use, but I didn't get scissors before I settled down to do this. So let's just pierce the plastic with my monster fingernails. There we go. Awesome. Apple style box. It isn't very stiff, but quality. Okay, so this is the CE remote and SD card, USB-A to USB-C. That's the, well, anyways, it's powered by that. HDMI. Connect USB power supplied rated for at least 5 volt, 2 amps, 10 watts. Connect HDMI 2.0 or better cable to the display. If your display is less than 4K, press the remote out. Match the resolution. I'm using 1440p, so anyways. Oh, wow. That is beautiful. I love the whitish gray color. This is hot because I just bought it inside and it's summertime, but it is lighter than I thought it would be. But okay, that does not want to slide. There we go. So inputs. This thing has every input. So component in. This was a standard commonly used in the time of, it was sort of like in between PS2 and PS3. This came more common. Audio in with a, I don't know, 2.5 millimeter jack, I think. So there's VGA, that's the cable I'll be using the most. Optical audio is an option. Digital video out, it only goes out in HDMI. There's no other out on this device. And you can do digital video in. However, I don't really have a reason to use that because I don't feel a need to use upscalers with things like a switch. PS3, I will be using this because PS3 has HDCP locked in, so you can't do anything like that. And then on the front, these are the ones a lot more people would be familiar with because these are the RCA composite jacks. So this is component. This is composite or RCA. And then S-Video is also. So S-Video is higher quality than RCA because it splits light and color into 2 pins instead of being on one signal. And then this is beyond S-Video because it splits. So these are your audios, but it splits the light into RGB instead of just brightness and color. So it has individual colors, and I think the individual color signals probably also have their own like brightness, but as opposed to having color and brightness together, color and brightness separately, colors all separate, and then audio. Okay, it slides a little better the next time. There's an SD card in here for firmware updates, and also the hey, look, cute little sticker. Nice little braided USB cables. This is for power. He's got the Retrotink logo there. And here's the remote. Man, this reminds me of remotes of old. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this to play some retro games, and hopefully I'll be streaming later or posting videos on my channel in the future. I know nobody watches these, but if you did watch this, thank you.